I'll use my Rotokey to return to my top tab and now scroll over to my calibration tab. This is where we begin to address calibration of certain sensors and also set some of the parameters of the boat. My first selection is draft. Draft is a fairly critical setting. Here I'm assigning a numerical value of the depth of the draft of my vessel so that I have an accurate reading of the depth of the water under transducer. This is obviously important when coming into shallow water to avoid grounding. After draft, I have calibrations of speed through water. This may be important if I have a speed through water sensor that is partially fouled or that is known to be slightly in deviation from my actual speed when compared to GPS. I can also calibrate sea surface temperature if the thermistor or temperature sensing element in my transducer is known to be degrees off. There are also available wind damping time and wind speed calibration for wind instruments, wind direction offset, as well as a calibration for water type of either salt or fresh, which can make a difference when maintaining speed through water. After our calibration tab is a tab for making certain calibrations of radar. The first selection is radar source. In most systems, there will only be one radar antenna available as the radar source. However, in those systems that may have two radar antennas, this is where the operator would make the selection between one radar or another. After radar source, we have a selection of enabling or disabling auto-tuning. We can fine-tune our manual tuning bar, and we can also assign sector blanking. Sector blanking is the ability to stop transmitting of the radar antenna in a certain sector on the screen, and we actually offer two sector blanking options. Bear in mind that the radar antenna will continue to turn, but the transmitter will not transmit for those sectors that are blanked out. After radar tab comes our DFF or fish finder tab. The calibrations available here generally won't need to be touched. However, this is where some fine-tuning can happen based on the transducer that's installed in the vessel and the particular needs of the operator. Some of these settings are transmission power, to be able to increase or decrease transmission power, gain adjust for both high frequency and low frequency, gain offset, bottom level in high frequency and low frequency. The external keying pulse, or KP, is to enable use of multiple sounders in a system so that not all sounders are transmitting at the same time, essentially a synchronization button. STC high frequency and low frequency is short time constant, which gives additional clutter controls. Frequency adjustment in high frequency and low frequency is critical because most Furuno sounders, and in fact all Furuno sounders connected to Navnet 3D, are capable of some or great frequency flexibility. So you can actually fine-tune the transmission of the sounder to the sweet spot or main resonating frequency of the transducer. After the DFF1 or fish finder tab comes the Sirius tab. The Sirius tab is not so much a calibration screen as it is a data screen, which shows which information is being received by our Sirius satellite receiver. This screen will show information like live radar count, observation station count, sea surface temperature information being received, and things of that nature. The final tab in our systems menu is our memory settings. Generally, this will not need to be accessed by the user. This is where we would perform a memory clear or memory sweep of sensors like the DFF1 and the radar sensors as well.